Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Music and Therapy Podcast with Relationship Coach Keana W. Mitchell. I am your host, Keana W. Mitchell. Well, I hope everyone is doing well and that you had an amazing weekend and that your day is awesome. So last week on the podcast, we talked about how insecurities can negatively affect your marriage. Here are some takeaways from last week's episode of the podcast. So when talking about insecurities, we have to mention perceptions because a lot of the times our insecurities are based off of our perceptions, and as I always say, your perception is your reality. So if you have a false perception of your relationship, a false perception of your spouse or your marriage, then it's going to be difficult for you to actually see what is happening in front of you. And so that's one way insecurity can affect your marriage or relationship, because what you're seeing is not actually the reality of the situation. You're just using all your insecurities in your perception of how you're viewing the world. And that is not always the accurate way or even what is actually going on. Number two, projection of your feelings of insecurity onto your partner or onto your marriage. So a lot of people, whenever they are feeling insecure, they do what I call projection. They project their insecure feelings onto their relationship, onto their marriage, onto their spouse. I remember one time when this movie came out, I think it was a movie about relationships, and it was a movie about a relationship, and then in the relationship, this guy was treating his wife really bad. And so this lady, she was fine when she went into the movies to watch it, okay? She was 100% okay. But then while she was sitting there, she started to see all the stuff this guy was doing, and she was like, you know what? This kind of reminds me of my husband. And so the insecurities in her marriage had her thinking that her marriage was actually like that, when in reality, it was not. It was just that she was projecting her feelings of insecurity onto her relationship. Another example of this would be someone not feeling secure about who they are. And so because of their insecurities, they automatically assume their spouse is cheating. Because they're feeling insecure, they're projecting this onto their spouse. So this is how projection can affect your marriage. And a lot of the times, projection is a result of someone being insecure, and they're projecting their feelings or insecure emotions onto their spouse or onto their relationship. One of the things we talked about when it comes to projection is that it's important to get clarity before assuming. So many times we just assume the worst, and that's not even what's going on. So sometimes it makes sense just to take a moment, take a step back, get clarity. What are we seeing? What's actually happening? What's really going on? Because then you have a chance to base what is happening in real time with what you think is going on. And a lot of the times you're able to catch, okay, so I feel this, but this is what I'm seeing. This is what's happening. So that's why it's important to get clarity before assuming. Number 4, be able to self-assess. When you're able to self-assess, you'll recognize, oh, this is just my insecurity making me feel this way. This isn't actually happening. And so when you're able to look at yourself and self-assess and understand why you're doing what you're doing, it makes it a lot easier to recognize when you're feeling insecure, to recognize how it's affecting you at that moment, to recognize how it may be causing you anxiety or making you project things into your spouse or onto your relationship. So being able to self-assess is key, and that's one of the many things we talked about in the podcast. And finally, work on yourself. It's important to work on yourself because then you'll understand, why are you feeling insecure? What's making you feel this way? What's triggering you to feel insecure, and what is bringing up these insecurities? When you're able to work on yourself and understand what is going on, then you're able to work through it. So many times it's like people don't work through things because they don't know what's going on. They can't even begin to explain why this is happening and why they feel this way. So when you're able to understand why you feel this way and you're able to see what is triggering you, then it's easier to begin to work on your insecurities and not let it affect your marriage or your relationship, because you're understanding why this is going on and you understand that it's something that you need to work on and not necessarily something wrong that your spouse is doing. So these are just some of the takeaways from last week's episode of the podcast. If you would like to find out more about how your insecurities affect your marriage or relationship, then click on the link in the show notes to listen to last week's episode of the podcast. Now, before we move on to this week's topic, here is an ad from one of our sponsors. Do you suffer from cramps, mood changes, decreased libido, hot flashes, or night sweats? If so, then you are not alone. Many women experience premenstrual and perimenopausal symptoms, which cause a hormonal imbalance during and outside of these cycles, which can include hair loss, hair thinning, increase in facial or body hair, skin problems, and weak or brittle nails. Hormonal imbalances can also contribute to mental health and difficulties like prolonged stress, depression, and anxiety. The inevitability of hormone cycles doesn't mean you should have to suffer through the pain and discomfort of hormonal imbalances. Eve's Harmony is specifically designed to support hormonal regulation in women. The herbs and nutrients in Eve's Harmony can support your hormonal health and restore your balance to your system. Eve's Harmony is made from natural ingredients such as red clover, sage, black cohosh, and red raspberry. For only 2 capsules a day, Eve's Harmony can help you regulate your hormones and get relief from hormonal-related symptoms the natural way. For more information on how you can purchase your bottle of Eve's Harmony, click the link below in the show notes or call them at 1-800-556-5530. Once again, that's 1-800-556-5530 to get your bottle of Eve's Harmony today. This week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about why it's important to learn how to forgive and move forward in your marriage. Now, as we all know, forgiveness is very important in order to have a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Forgiveness allows you to step outside of the victim role, and it shows you that you are capable of acknowledging your hurt and moving on from it. Being able to forgive in your marriage is a skill that helps both you and your spouse to process negative emotions and act in order to build a stronger bond between the both of you. Studies show that being able to forgive someone is a way of letting go so that you can heal and move on with your life. When you're forgiving your marriage, you let go of all the resentment, hate, or worry that you are feeling, which in turn can make you feel less anxious. It can make you feel happier, calmer, and more peaceful. Forgiveness has a positive impact on your mental health, which in turn can improve all your interpersonal relationships, including your relationship with your partner. So today we're going to talk about the 10 benefits of forgiveness in a relationship. The first thing that a lot of people want to know is, why should we forgive? Why is forgiveness important? So as I mentioned, forgiveness is important because it helps you heal. It helps you move forward. When you don't forgive, your body is in a state of flight or fight. So you're anxious, you're uptight, you're stressed. And the body is built that way because whenever you're in a bad situation, it helps you find a way out of that situation, either by fighting or flighting or leaving, But the thing is, your body's not meant to be in that state for a long period of time. It should only be in that state for a short period of time to help you to survive. So when people are in situations where things have happened in their marriage and they're stressed and they're having a hard time forgiving their spouse, their body is constantly in a state of fight or flight. And so they're in survival mode. They're not actually thriving. They're not moving forward. They are stuck in this mode. So when you are stuck in this mode, several things happen. You start to feel anxious. You have anxiety. You're depressed. It affects your body. It affects your heart. It affects everything about you because like I said, this state is only supposed to be temporary. It's not a state that your body should be in for a long period of time. So when we don't forgive, we are leaving our bodies in this state of fight or flight for a long period of time, and that is not what's supposed to happen. While there are numerous benefits of forgiveness you can enjoy once you have put the problem behind you, it's crucial to understand the role forgiveness plays in your relationship. Now, it may not seem like it, but forgiveness is one of the keys to a healthy relationship, primarily because humans are bound to make mistakes. And at some point or another, we're all going to make a mistake. We're all going to do something that requires forgiveness. We all are separate individuals, and each of us have our own point of views and mindsets. So we're all flawed, and we are going to end up making mistakes, particularly when we are hurt. So while this doesn't give one an excuse to abuse someone extensively, it does give you a reason to forgive the other person in the relationship. If you wish to enjoy a long and healthy relationship with someone you value deeply, then it's important to work on your ability to forgive. The significance of forgiveness is so important in a marriage because it is a way to heal. It's liberating. It helps you let go of resentment and hurt and finally move on from someone or something that hurt you. Remember last week's episode of the podcast when we were talking about, no, it wasn't last week. It was the week before when we were talking about how it's important not to let things build up when we were talking about how to have difficult conversations. So it's important not to let things build up. The way you don't let things build up is to learn how to forgive daily. So if you don't want to have things build up and when you get to a conversation, you just explode with anger or resentment, it's important to forgive daily. Now, forgiving daily doesn't mean that you let people walk all over you. Forgiving daily means that you're choosing to extend grace to that person. You're extending mercy to that person that you want someone to do to you. So if your spouse is a little snappy with you in the morning because maybe he's late to work or maybe she's in a rush and she's worried about getting the kids to daycare, instead of taking it personal and hold a grudge, you can forgive in that moment. You can choose to forgive and move forward to see what you can do to help or not take it personal because you realize they are in a state of stress or anxiety. So being able to forgive daily helps us not to bottle up emotions. It helps us to move forward in a healthy way in our relationships and to address things as they come along. Now, there are some benefits to forgiveness. Some of the benefits are more behavioral regulation. Couples that practice forgiveness have shown more behavioral regulation. So they show more positive motivation toward their partner as well, which means that instead of holding resentment or holding a grudge, they can just drop it and let it go. Now, this is important because in order to have a positive relationship, we have to see our partner in a positive light. So if we're holding on to a grudge or holding on to resentment, you're not going to see them in a positive light. But when you let it go and learn how to forgive daily, then you're going to maintain that positive relationship because you're going to see them in a positive light and you're not going to be held back by hostility and anger and resentment. Another thing that forgiveness does is make you more vulnerable. So when you have forgiven someone, you can trust them more. When you forgive someone, you start to feel more vulnerable. And this is important because vulnerability is so important in a marriage. In order to have vulnerability, you have to trust your partner. You have to respect them. You have to know that you guys have each other's best interests at heart. And this happens when you learn how to forgive. Because when you forgive, you're realizing that your partner's flawed. You're realizing that they're not perfect. So you're forgiving them. The same way you want them to forgive you when you may do something or say something that could hurt them or make them feel some sort of way. So forgiveness ensures that there's more vulnerability within a relationship, which is very, very important for emotional intimacy in a marriage. Another thing that forgiveness does is help you to have more empathy. So when we're able to empathize with our partner and figure out when we're in pain or feeling hurt, then we can truly forgive and set our hearts free because we are strengthening the connection we have with our partners. And when you have empathy, you're able to see things from someone else's perspective. So if your spouse is hurt and they snapped at you in the morning, then maybe you, instead of being angry or holding a grudge, you would say, you know what? They're frustrated about such and such. I can see that. Maybe I would feel the same way if I was in that situation. So you're able to extend grace to them and move forward without holding a grudge. Forgiveness can also pave the way to emotional healing. Now, there have been several studies that show that forgiveness can definitely heal injuries. Forgiveness can help you get the closure you need and heal you so that you can move forward from a person or situation that may have caused you hurt. Forgiveness also strengthens your relationship. Now, I love this benefit of forgiveness because it allows you to have mutual empathy for each other and to encourage relational resilience. So when you're able to drop things and let it go and not hold a grudge for years or months, or avoid not speaking to your spouse because you're angry with them for a couple of weeks, then that is resilience in your marriage. In order to have a happy and successful marriage, you're going to need relationship resilience. And in order to be resilient and bounce back from frustrations and disappointments and things that upset you, you are going to have to forgive to strengthen that relationship. So forgiveness is something that is important. And what I want you to remember, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't know about this because my spouse didn't forgive me. Okay, so here's the thing about forgiveness. It's not a give and take, okay? So You can forgive and you can get the benefits of forgiveness even if your spouse chooses not to. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. It allows you to heal. It allows you to reap the benefits of being able to be resilient in your relationship. It improves your mental health. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But forgiveness is for you. It's not so much for the other person, but forgiveness is for you so that you can move forward and be the best version of you that you can absolutely be. Now, I mentioned earlier that it improves your mental health. So, did you know that when you forgive and when you let go of resentment and hate or worry that you may have been feeling, you're going to feel less anxious. You're going to be happier, calmer, more at peace. This is going to have a positive impact on your mental health, which in turn is going to help your relationship. You're going to be more accepting of what people around you need. And I always say, if you are not in a good place, it's going to be hard to be a good spouse or a good partner. So when you are able to forgive, you're going to be more accepting of your partner. You're going to accept them more. You're going to forgive them more. And when you accept your partner, they're going to feel more loved. Forgiveness is a way to make your partner feel more accepted and more loved. Because when people feel that they are accepted and that they're loved for who they are, flaws and all, then they are going to be more vulnerable with you. They're going to open up more with you. And the way that they see you is going to change and be a lot different. So when you forgive someone, you're saying that you accept them and that you love them, even when they are imperfect and are capable of making mistakes. You communicate that the person you love is a person who is flawed, but that your love for them is bigger than any mistake that needs to be forgiven. Forgiveness also creates more trust. So when you're able to forgive your partner for something they did to hurt you, you're telling them, hey, I trust you not to make the same mistake again. And when I read that, I was like, wow, that is important, because sometimes when we think about trust, we're thinking of trust in a different sense. But it's important to think of forgiveness as trusting your partner. You're telling them, I trust you to make better choices. I'm going to trust you not to hurt me again. I am going to trust you to do things differently. So this does create room to strengthen your relationship, especially when it comes to trust, because you are not controlling them. You're not telling them what to do, but you are trusting them not to make that same mistake again. So that is why forgiveness is important. Forgiveness helps you to let go of guilt. Now, sometimes there are situations where you may have been the person who did something that you feel hurt your spouse or jeopardized your relationship. And sometimes people have a hard time forgiving themselves. So when you're able to forgive others, you can also forgive yourself. And remember, I am not perfect. I made a stupid mistake. I was wrong, but I'm able to move forward. I'm able to forgive myself and to let go of my guilt so that I can be the better version of me that I can be, so I can be a better partner for my spouse. So being able to forgive helps you also learn how to let go of guilt and shame and to forgive yourself and start new and start to see yourself through a positive lens. And as I talk about a positive lens, forgiveness also brings a lot of positivity to your life. It can help you let go of negativity or things you're holding on to. It can help you let go of the hurt and resentment. So just being able to forgive makes you a more positive person. And when you're a more positive person, then you're able to see your relationship in a positive light, in a better way. It is just easier for you to work on your marriage when you see it in a positive light rather than a negative light. Because seeing your marriage in a negative light is not going to motivate you to want to work on it. It's going to motivate you to want to get out of that relationship. It's going to motivate you to want to leave the relationship. But when you are able to see it through a positive light and you're able to forgive, then you're going to want to connect more with your spouse. Forgive them, trust them, understand that they're human. It's going to make you see your relationship in a positive light because you know that anything can be worked on as long as you're able to forgive. Now, there are also many health benefits when it comes to forgiveness. Some of the health benefits that we talk about when people forgive is beneficial for your heart. It is suggested that forgiveness is related to blood pressure, lower heart rates, and stress relief. As a result, forgiveness can provide long-term benefits to not only your heart, but your overall health as well. Forgiveness is also positively associated with different aspects of health. So forgiveness can help you to have less complaints, you'll feel less fatigue, your sleep quality will improve, you have less physical symptoms. And when I say physical symptoms, sometimes when you have a lot of stress and anxiety, it can lead to high blood pressure, and then you'll get some symptoms and side effects from that. So it can definitely help you to alleviate a lot of physical symptoms and also medications that you may need to relieve some of these symptoms. So it's amazing that forgiveness can have such a huge effect on your life. So at the end of the day, forgiveness in a relationship, as well as forgiveness in general, is beneficial for your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, which is enough reason to work on letting go of hurt and anger and forgive your spouse. Keep in mind that outrageous behavior doesn't need to be tolerated, and it isn't about agreeing with the other person's behavior. But forgiveness does give the person a chance to break the continuous cycle of resentment and hate and gives them a chance to bring peace of mind that helps the person move forward. So don't forget that forgiveness takes both time and effort, and that practicing forgiveness is the foundation of a happy and healthy relationship. So this week, I know it's a huge thing I'm going to challenge you to do. This week, I dare you to begin forgiving your spouse. Choose to forgive them. And when I say choose to forgive them, I'm talking about safe situations. I'm not talking about someone who's being abused. You can even forgive in that situation, but if you're in a home where you are being physically abused, then I advise you to please leave that relationship, forgive them from afar, make sure that you are safe. But if you're in a regular relationship where there's no abuse involved and you guys are just struggling and you're starting to feel yourself resent your spouse, then I want you today to practice forgiving them. Make a choice to forgive. Try to be more empathetic toward them and forgive them. Also, I want you to take some time and forgive yourself for things that you think that you have done that were so damaging that you can never forgive yourself. I want you this week to forgive. So I dare you. I want you to forgive something that you feel that you can't forgive yourself for. And then I want you to forgive or make a choice to start forgiving your spouse. The song that we are going to listen to this week is called Broken Hearts, and it's about a woman who's trying to forgive and move forward from a broken heart.
We used to laugh and have fun. I used to think you were the one. All of this time, I gave you my heart. I thought nothing could tear us apart. Then one day, you came to me and you said that it would be better for you, better for me. Other people. Every day I'm crying for you.
Before I end the podcast, I would like to thank you so much for being here with me today. I absolutely love hanging out with you each week, and it's always a pleasure to spend time with you. If you love the podcast as much as I love spending time with you, I encourage you to share this week's episode with a friend or family member and make sure that you like and follow the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I will also love it if you will leave a review for the podcast so you can let me know how much you are enjoying the show. Because I am so thankful to you guys, I am going to be giving away a free gift. I understand that being married can be difficult and stressful at times. So if you are looking for a way to stop arguing and resolve issues in your marriage, then click the link below in the show notes to download your free PDF about how to solve problems in your marriage. If you would like to contact me, feel free to contact me on social media by clicking the links in the show notes, and I promise you that I will respond to your message. Well, I think that's all for now. So until next week, have an amazing day and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.